Is the UK government turning a blind eye to illegal migration, putting British safety at risk? In this video, Patrick Christys from GB News and his panel expose the authorities' shocking refusal to act on critical information that could stop the illegal migration trade. Plus, we'll break down key leadership principles for protecting national security. Before we get into the discussion, if you love diving into political issues and enjoy hearing a principled take on them, then hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to join the conversation. It will help our channel grow.
GB News infiltrated several people smuggling gangs and handed their personal information over to the National Crime Agency. We gave them phone numbers, we gave them locations of where they were launching the boats from. We even had their voices on record.
Hello, my friend, how are you? My friend, you must tomorrow come here in Cali, and after tomorrow we go, inshallah. Okay? You must tomorrow to come here the morning, and we go there in the mountain, and after tomorrow we go, inshallah.
Since we first reported some of these human trafficking gangs to the National Crime Agency, roughly 2,000 more people have crossed the channel, and several really big things have happened. The West is on the brink of war with Iran, and Iranians are in the top 5 nationalities of people who enter Britain illegally. This is clearly a massive problem. The Home Secretary also said this.
Baroness Casey reports that she came across cases involving suspects who were asylum seekers. So we are bringing forward a change to the law so that anyone convicted of sexual offences is excluded from the asylum system and denied refugee status.
Illegal immigrants are believed to be involved in grooming gangs, so really the rape of British children. And then this was revealed. Illegal immigrants in hotels in 3 different parts of the country have been charged with rape, and the allegation is that local authorities tried to cover up the fact that they were living in migrant hotels. So, given all of that has happened in the last week or so, you might have thought that the National Crime Agency might have reacted quite strongly to the information we gave them about these people smugglers, and then acted quickly to shut down those gangs. Well, today, I can reveal all of the smugglers we reported to the NCA appear to be active today. Some of them are still posting videos on TikTok advertising small boat crossings. They are still active on WhatsApp. In fact, they quoted us €2,500 for a crossing. They say that they are leaving tomorrow. Boats are leaving tomorrow. Their social media pages haven't been shut down. Their mobile numbers are still in use. They are still bringing people across the channel. Do you not find this quite frustrating? Now, obviously, there are things that the National Crime Agency might not like us to know. Maybe there's a big grand plan here. But it doesn't really look like it, does it? And they must have known that we here on my show would be checking up on these human traffickers in a couple of weeks to see if they've been taken down. But no, it looks a little bit like even if you bring them people smuggling gangs on a silver platter, to people like you and me, it doesn't really look like they're in much of a rush to shut them down, does it? So a National Crime Agency spokesman said this to us. The NCA are actively targeting groups or individuals directly involved in small boats criminality or activity which facilitates it. For example, through the supply of boats and engines or the laundering of profits. However, much of the criminality sits outside our jurisdiction. We continue to work closely with French law enforcement, generating and sharing intelligence with partners. The joint intelligence cell we operate with French partners has been involved in the arrest of more than 100 suspected people smugglers operating on French soil. We assess that this work has had a considerable impact. So, Jay, now, what I don't get is that anyone worth their salt would have known, guaranteed, that what I was going to do in the next couple of weeks, after I'd handed all of their personal information over to the NCA, was check up and see whether or not they were still active. Why haven't they acted on it?
And what you've done is you've shown the lie of the entire Labour government strategy for dealing with migrants. The Prime Minister was elected on a mantra with a huge mandate to crack the gangs. That's what they said they were going to do. We don't need Rwanda. We don't need any disincentives for people to come here. We are going to tackle this at source and stop the gangs. Here's evidence. The only other thing you could have done, Patrick, is put a sort of red ribbon on it as you handed it over on that silver tray to say, come on, guys, go out and arrest these people, or even get the French to go and arrest them. And nothing has happened. And GB News viewers won't be surprised, because if you talk to ordinary men and women up and down this country, they kind of know that whatever politicians say that they're doing about this, it's not working, it's not happening. Here's the evidence. It was handed over to them, ready to go for a prosecution, and apparently at the moment nothing's happened.
No, I don't know if you might be able to bring up some of those WhatsApp messages we included in the monologue there at all. But I mean, even today, I've got them here in front of me now. These are the same phone numbers that we handed over to the NCA a couple of weeks ago. Offering us things, giving us locations about everything. They're still active today. They say they're going to bring people across the channel tomorrow. I think a lot of people will find this incredibly frustrating, haven't they?
I think I find it incredibly frustrating. And I think if you look at the National Crime Agency, and to your point, is Labour actually really serious about what the National Crime Agency is doing? It's got 8, I've just been doing some in-depth reading. It's got 8 different major operations. Immigration border control is only one of them. It has a budget of only 894 million per year. So I would like to know more about how much has actually been sent.
Well, it's still 100 million, though. They're not doing anything.
It's still being spent on our borders. And then they've put out a thing saying, there's so much outside our jurisdiction. Well, no, they've got huge amounts of powers. They get to work with loads of regional forces, the French forces. So, I don't know, it just seems like a litany of excuses.
But they know that we've been embarrassing their efforts here pretty consistently for the last couple of weeks, and that we're obviously going to keep doing it. And by the way, I am going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep on doing it. And they must have known that at some point we were going to check up on the phone numbers of these people smugglers that we've given them. And all they would have had to have done, really, to stop me from doing this tonight would be to, block the phone numbers or shut down their TikTok accounts from these people. It's not hard to do that, and they couldn't even be bothered to do that by the looks of things, Benjamin. What does that tell you?
The government's trying to bring in new laws that make things like stopping the money flow and the social media accounts and the ability to lead a life in Britain for people that are doing this. But it begs the question, if the laws that are already in place are not being enforced and the reports are not being acted on, then how useful is the new things that the Home Secretary is announcing? But it also begs the question that not only did you tell them about this and they seemingly haven't taken action, or we've not yet seen the consequences of that, but also you managed as a journalist to get those numbers, to find those people out and to start this process. So it reminds me a little bit of paedophile hunters on the internet, where they find people that are committing the most atrocious crimes. And you think, well, how come all the people being paid great salaries with apparently great skills can't do this for themselves? I think you've embarrassed them twice.
Well, I'm just going to call them tomorrow, I think. I've got all the phone numbers here. I'll just call them and I'll film it and see what happens, I think. Or why not? At this point. But there is a more serious issue here, just in the fact that the NCA don't appear to be doing that much to stop these people, which is that, as we pointed out, we all know the other big news is Iran, right, and is the Middle East. And Iranians are in the top 5 number of people coming across the channel. Now, some of them might genuinely be fleeing the Ayatollah, okay? But some of them might be Iranian sleeper cells.
Some of them clearly aren't fleeing the Ayatollah because they were stood in central London today with a placard celebrating the Ayatollah. What I would say to these people, if you think life is so good in Iran, go back there then. If you want to live under an appalling regime that murders gay people, doesn't let women out in public, and has been responsible for terrorism atrocities all over the globe, jog on, off you go back to Iran. If you want to live in a free country like Britain, you should respect our laws and you should be supporting our government. What is really concerning is we simply have no idea who is here, why they've come, whether it's state-sponsored terrorism, whether these people are living amongst us here in London and other parts of the country. It is terrifying for the British people.
What I don't quite get is the things that seem to affect all of us or bother us and maybe even keep us awake at night don't appear to be troubling the people in charge. So we've had that basket of stories there, the idea that Iranians might be coming over who wish us harm. Then you've got this alleged rape cover-up at 3 different migrant hotels around the country. So, Yvette Cooper saying that there's been asylum seekers involved in grooming cases. That, to me, would be enough to be like, OK, no one is setting foot in Britain again.
People are fed up with politicians who make grand promises but deliver next to nothing. They talk non-stop about solutions, yet the problem just keeps getting worse. Citizens feel gaslighted, wondering if there's a hidden agenda eroding their trust and security. Laws are in place to tackle these issues, but without enforcement, they are meaningless. No consequences, no change. So what's really going on here? Politicians often drag their feet until problems like illegal migration or global conflicts hit too close to home. But that's not leadership. True leadership in national security demands responsibility to act boldly and proactively to protect citizens, especially with these rising tensions in the Middle East, like those involving Iran and Israel. Governments have a core duty to enforce laws, prioritize safety, and show accountability by delivering real solutions, not empty promises. It's time for leaders to own their responsibilities and be held accountable. What do you think? Add your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this conversation moving. If you have benefited in any way from this video, please subscribe, like, share, and be sure to leave us a comment.